What is going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Seattle Mariners franchise here on MLB The Show 21. And man, I've been waiting to get started with this series for a very long time, ever since they announced that MLB The Show 21 was going to be on Xbox One. I've just been chomping at the bit to get into this game, and after 14 long years, I finally got my hands on a new MLB The Show game. So why did I pick the Seattle Mariners, you may ask? Well, I've never really been like a huge baseball fan, but the Seattle Mariners were the team that I started rooting for as a kid because of Ken Griffey Jr., who's one of my favorite athletes of all time. Ken Griffey Jr. was the reason I became a Mariners fan, and then Ichiro was the reason that I stayed a Mariners fan. However, being a fan of this team isn't the only reason that I picked the Mariners to be my franchise team. Even though this is kind of a new experience for me, since I didn't really play MLB The Show outside of MLB The Show 7, where I was kind of experimenting with a new series. With this being my first time playing this game, I wanted a bit of a challenge, and what better team to use than a team that has not made the playoffs in 19 years, which is the longest active streak in not just the MLB, but in North American sports, or major North American sports, I should say. And the Mariners are also the only team in the MLB to not even make it to a World Series. Now, as of this recording, they are leading the AL West in real life, so maybe this will be the year they make it. But here in this universe, I want to be the one to make it happen, and that is the plan. Hell, year one, the goal is to go to the World Series. I know that's crazy, especially with me being kind of a novice at this game, but we'll see if we can make it happen. So now we look at a few of the key players on this team, and we'll start out with Marco Gonzalez, the team's ace. He had 7 wins and 2 losses in 11 appearances last season, and he also led the AL in walks per 9 innings with 0.9, and then strikeout to walk ratio with 9.143. He only gave up 8 home runs and 7 walks last year to 64 strikeouts, so a pretty good season for Gonzalez overall, but hopefully the Mariners in general have a better season than they did last year. Next up, we have the Big Maple himself, James Paxton, making his return to Seattle after 2 years with the New York Yankees. He missed most of the season last year due to a back surgery that kept him out for about 4 months, but he made 5 appearances for the Yankees, pitching to a 1-1 record with a 6.64 ERA and 26 strikeouts over 20 innings. While Marco Gonzalez is more of an off-speed pitcher, James Paxton is a little more of a power pitcher, with that 4-seam fastball being his strongest pitch in his repertoire. And we'll see if he's able to bounce back from his surgery last year and return to some level of success that he had back in his old days with the Mariners and in 2019 with the Yankees. So now we take a look at one of the up-and-comers on this Mariners team, Dylan Moore, the second baseman, who's pretty much a utility guy, and he can pretty much play any position that the Mariners need him to play outside of catcher and pitcher. He's played first base, third base, shortstop, and in the outfield as well, but second base is his main position. But last year was the year he pretty much became an everyday starter, and we'll see how he improves in his 3rd year in Seattle. He made a big jump from 2019 to 2020. We'll see what he does in 2021. Now we take a look at my current favorite Mariners player, Kyle Seeger, of course the older brother of Corey Seager. He's still one of the better third basemen in the MLB. He had a pretty solid 2020. He hit .241, and he led the AL with 6 sacrifice flies as well. Also had 9 home runs. Now, I'm not expecting Seeger to go back to his 2014 form, but I still expect him to be a pretty big contributor for this Mariners team. Now we take a look at catcher Tom Murphy, who makes his return to Seattle after missing all of 2020 due to a fractured metatarsal in his foot. Now, to be completely honest, the Mariners could probably upgrade from him at the catcher position, but I'm going to give him a go in the first part of the season, and if I have to end up making a trade for a catcher or something like that, then that might just be what we have to do. But he was pretty good in 2019 for the most part. He hit 18 home runs and hit .273 on the season, And we'll just have to see if he's able to come back to that. He also had 40 RBIs, can't forget about that as well. But if he can return to form, then maybe he can stick around, but I'm not opposed to upgrading at the catcher position. So now we take a look at the AL Rookie of the Year for the 2020 season, Kyle Lewis, the center fielder. I mean, this man has all types of potential. He's 25 years old and had a hell of a season last year. 28 RBIs, 11 home runs, and his batting average was .262. So honestly, it doesn't get much better as far as his rookie season, and we'll just have to see how he continues to develop as we head into 2021. Going back to the pitching for a moment, we have Justice Sheffield. He had 4 wins and 3 losses in 10 appearances last year, giving up 2 home runs, and overall a 3.58 ERA is actually an improvement off of his 2019 season with Seattle. And we'll just have to see if he's able to continue to improve heading into this season. He's still relatively young. He's 24 years old, and he has an A potential. So we'll have to see if we can just continue to develop him. And then at right field, we have Mitch Haniger, aka Mitch Hand Grenades, as my boy Franchise Gaming called him during his MLB The Show 2019 franchise with Seattle. Like Tom Murphy, Haniger missed all of 2020 due to injuries, and we'll have to see if he can come back to his 2018 form when he had a really good season, hitting .285 and 93 RBIs and 26 home runs. He was decent enough in 2019, but missed a lot of the season due to injuries, and hopefully he'll be able to come back to form. At shortstop, you have J.P. Crawford, who's 26 years old and coming off a pretty decent season last year in 2020. He hit .255, 24 RBIs, only 2 home runs, but he definitely has a lot of room for improvement and definitely has some time to continue to develop his skills. He's had 2 pretty good seasons with Seattle. Definitely steps up from his seasons in Philadelphia, but we'll have to see if he's able to have a breakout 2021. Another young guy that the Mariners have is Ty France, the third baseman, heading into his second season in Seattle after getting traded away from San Diego. He only played 23 games with Seattle last year, but he hit 2 home runs and he batted .302, so overall a pretty good season. I know it says .305, but that's including his stats with the Padres as well. And he has a lot of potential. I mean, he's a B potential, but at 26, that's still pretty good. And he's actually doing pretty well IRL, so we'll see if we can replicate that in this series. And the last player we're going to look at is Ken Giles, the new closing pitcher for Seattle, who is a big-time power pitcher with a 4-seam fastball and a 2-seam fastball, along with a slider as well. He only appeared in 4 games last year for the Blue Jays, and didn't really have very good stats, to be completely honest, as he gave up 4 hits, 4 walks, and a .982 ERA as well, in just 3.2 innings pitched, although he did have 6 strikeouts as well, but he missed most of the season after getting Tommy John surgery, so we'll see if he's able to bounce back. He was a pretty dependable guy for the Astros during their 2017 championship season that they cheated for, but anyways, and he was pretty good in 2019 for the Blue Jays as well, so if his shoulder is able to heal up, we'll have to see what he can do this year for Seattle. And yes, we do have some gameplay for you. I'm only going to be playing this first game in spring training before I sim to the regular season, but we're taking on the San Diego Padres, who are one of the up-and-coming teams in the NL West, and this should be an interesting game, as this is actually the first game that I've played once I downloaded this game. I only played a couple of innings just because I kind of wanted to get a feel for the game and whatnot, and I played on quick counts as well. I won't be doing that for the series unless you guys want me to. For opening day, I'm definitely not playing on quick counts. I'm playing like a full game when I play the game against the Giants, which will be the next episode. But I just wanted to get a feel for the controls, get a feel for everything. Throughout this game, I do change up a few of the settings and whatnot, but here we go. Marco Gonzalez getting the start against the Padres. And this is going to give you guys a little glimpse of how these episodes are going to go as well. So Tommy Pham going to be leading off for the Padres here. And here's the pitch. And that hits him. So a great start for me in my first game of MLB The Show 21. So next up is Jake Cronenworth. And we'll see if we can not hit him this time. Nope, we're going to give up a home run instead. You love to see it, except not really. So 2-run homer for the Padres as they go up 2-0 in the top of the first. And I don't know, I can't really be too embarrassed. I mean, it is my first game here. Next up, we got Fernando Tati Jr., the cover athlete for MLB The Show 21. We walk him. Next up, we got Manny Machado, the former Oriole. And we got him in a 2-2 count. Trying to get a strikeout here, and he's going to pop it up to right field instead. Haniger going to get underneath that one, and we get our first out of me playing this game. And almost a weird throw. I really have to work on throwing in this game, BT dubs. Next up, we got Will Myers at the plate. He's going to pop that one up. And Haniger getting some work early on. He's going to get the second out here. And that's going to keep Tatis at first base. So now next up, we got Jurickson Profar. I don't know if I'm saying it. If I'm saying any of these names wrong, then please just let me know. Tatis is going to steal second as I just kind of reacted late to that. I mean, that's going to come with time once again. And then Profar is going to hit it into the gap. And that is going to bring Tatis home. So now a 3-0 lead for the Padres as they've started off hot against this rookie playing this game. So now 3-1 pitch to Trent Grisham, and Haniger going to try to make a diving grab. He can't do it, though. That's going to get Profar to second, or third, that is. And Grisham's going to get the second. So they're almost through their entire rotation here as Eric Hosmer going to pop that up. Dylan Moore able to grab it, and they get it to first, and that'll get the Mariners out of the jam, but they gave up 3 runs, and it's 3-0 Padres. So now we're into the bottom of the first. Blake Snell up to pitch for the Padres. And Donnie Walton going to lead off for Seattle. He had a 154 batting average last year. That's not very good. And on the 1-2 pitch, I'm going to swing because I'm not great at reading pitches. That's something I'm going to struggle with early on while I'm playing this game, by the way. So now Ty France up to the plate. He's in the designated hitter role today. He's going to hit that to the shortstop, and that's going to be an easy out number 2 for the Padres. And now up to bat for Seattle is Kyle Lewis, the AL Rookie of the Year in 2020, and he looks to at least get one Mariner on base, but he's going to miss that one. It's going to be foul-tipped and thrown to first base for the final out of the inning. So 3 up, 3 down for the Mariners as they continue to trail 3-0. So Austin Nola going to lead things off here for the Padres to begin the second inning. So 2-2 count here, and he's going to hit it right side into right field. Haniger able to corral it, but that'll be a base hit for the Padres. So now Tommy Pham back up to hit for the Padres here. He's going to pop that one up to right field, and Haniger has pretty much been doing all the work in the outfield today. He's going to catch that one, and that'll be the first out of the second. So now Jake Cronenworth back up to the plate. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and he's going to strike out. So I'm starting to get the hang of pitching in this game, at least. Batting I still have to work on a little bit, but that will come with time. And then Fernando Tati's going to hit this one deep, but unfortunately for him, that's going to hit the warning track, and Lewis is able to get him out for the final out of the second. So now leading off for the Mariners in the bottom of the second is the man, the myth, the legend, Kyle Seeger, and he's going to blast that one on the 3-2 count over the wall, and I got a home run at my first at-bat in the second inning, so hey, I guess I have my moments as far as batting goes so far in this game. That'll make it 3-1. Padres still leading here, but got to take a look at that one again. 349 feet. Just a beautiful hit there for Seeger to get us on the board. But then on the very at bat, Mitch Haniger going to hit it right to Mr. Blake Snell for the first out of the bottom of the second. So now next up to bat is Tom Murphy, the catcher. He's going to hit it to the shortstop, and that's an easy second out for the Padres again. I did have that moment with Seeger, but outside of that, like batting wise, I just have to get better. It's going to take some practice, but I can definitely get there. So now Dylan Moore facing a 3-2 count. He's going to blast that one, and it's going to go over the left field wall. So 2 home runs in the bottom of the second. So maybe I'm not that bad at batting. Maybe I just got to focus a little bit more on not just being aggressive with my swings. But 2 home runs. I got one with Seeger and now one with Moore. Make it a 3-2 ball game in the bottom of the second. Just take a look at this one again. Just blasting it. And I didn't even expect it to go. I thought it was going to get caught at the warning track, but I guess I got lucky there. Next up, we got Jose Mamalejos, and he's going to strike out. And that pretty much is going to end the part of me playing this game. I end up simming the rest of it. And the Padres would end up getting a dub here, as you're going to see in just a moment. I might be doing the quick manage stuff a little bit during this series. I just kind of have to see how other people do it for their series and just kind of act accordingly, I guess. Although do it in my own way, obviously. But the Padres did get the 5-4 victory over our Seattle Mariners. But next up, we begin the regular season as we take on the San Francisco Giants. And if you guys are hyped for that video, if you are hyped for this series, you already know what to do. Smash that like button. If you just so happen to be new to the channel, hit the sub button as well and turn your notifications on to join the notification gang. That way, every time I upload a video, you guys will be notified. And we gonna keep this mofo rolling here on Cast Crate Gaming. And if you want to see more from the channel, check out the playlists in front of you.